then we'll all live off our universal basic income.
A World Without Work, next time on Philosophy Talk.
Listen to Philosophy Talk today at noon on KSJE 90.9 FM, Farmington. This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology, a division of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Fifteen minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday morning, September the 4th, and you're listening to KSJE 90.9 FM, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, broadcasting from San Juan College. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin, and thank you for tuning in this morning. Welcome to our viewers who are watching the program live today as we stream over the internet on Facebook and the KSJE YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everybody. Glad to have you with us. Coming up in just a moment, my guest on the program from Northwest New Mexico Firstborn, Diana Kinney, is here, the program manager. We'll be talking with her in just a moment about that program and what it brings to families in both McKinley and San Juan counties. That's coming up in just a moment. But first, a couple of reminders for you. Coming up later on this hour, we'll talk to Amber Francisco at the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. She'll be telling us about some of the pets available for adoption this week. And for those of you watching, we've got the pictures of the pets to share with you. And if that doesn't make you run down there and adopt a pet, I don't know what will, but we'll share those with you coming up later on this hour. At 9 a.m., Mick Hess will be along roving with the arts. And today, in addition to some arts news to share with you, Mick has for us Bach cantatas numbers 5 and 6 to play on the radio for us today at 9 on KSJE, so we hope you'll tune in and stay tuned for that coming up right after this program. We also want to remind you to go to our website at ksje.com. That's where you'll find all of our program information and also our regional events calendar. Lots of things that are going on just this week as I take a look at some of the things. The Two Colorful Women, One Colorful Show opening reception is happening later on this week on September 7th here at the San Juan College Henderson Fine Arts Center Gallery. Comedy Night out at Sunray Park and Casino on September 7th and September 8th of this week. It's the 2018 Farmington Fire Department 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb happening at Ricketts Park. And you can find out information about all of these events by going to our website at ksje.com. And by the way, that's also where you can support this radio station. As you know, we are listener supported, and so community members and business owners and businesses have already stepped up to support the work that we're doing. And so if you agree, we hope you'll go to our website and join them at ksje.com/support. Well, now let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning. Diana Kinney is here, as I mentioned, program manager with the Northwest New Mexico Firstborn program. Diana, good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Always good to see you.
Always.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And remind us a little bit about what Firstborn does. This is a program for new families, as I mentioned, in San Juan and McKinley counties, right?
Yes, we are a program to give support and education to first-time families. It can be the moms first, the dads first, both of them. It might be an adoptive family. And we are a free program, and it doesn't depend on income.
Right. And you've been there for a couple of years now. We've been talking, right?
It's been about 2.5 years.
Right. And so it is in McKinley and San Juan counties. And so I would imagine for a new family, whether it's mom, dad, or both, there's a lot of questions and maybe a lot of uncertainties about what this new bundle of joy will bring to the family.
Definitely a lot. I know that when I had my first child, I was very young, and we lived out on the reservation, and my mentor wasn't very knowledgeable, let's say. So this is a great program for that knowledge, and we have a curriculum. The curriculum has been around. It was founded over 20 years ago with from Vicki Johnson and in Grant County.
Gotcha. And the curriculum talks about development and different things and different milestones for the child's development and education and things like that. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
It is. We like to start during pregnancy, and once a family's enrolled, then we go up to the time a child is 3 years old, if they want us around that long.
Okay. They don't have to?
No.
Okay.
They don't.
It's optional.
It is.
And I suppose, can folks start on the program at any time during the pregnancy or right up until birth? Or what are some of the rules about that? I mean, as soon as we find out that we're having a baby, can we call you or
yes,
what?
Please do. And we often get referrals. Usually doctors, hopefully, are talking to their patients about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do like to start during pregnancy. There's so much vital information there. And we do enrollment through the time that a child's 3 months old, but once they enroll, then again we can stay until the child is 3 years old.
Got it. So even after the child is born, there's still time to get signed up, right?
Yes.
And you can still help. There's still something that the Firstborn program can do for that family.
Yes, yes. We realize too that with happy, healthy families that it benefits the entire community.
Mm-hmm.
It makes us stronger. And
right.
yes, we can look at the health of the families, and families with our outcomes, they have higher incidence of well-child checks, and even during prenatally, then the families are receiving more appointments. They're going to more appointments.
Right. And this is so important in a state like New Mexico, which may have hit and miss opportunities for health care, and maybe families that live an hour outside of town and it's hard to get in to see the doctor all the time and things like that. Your group, your organization will go and visit them no matter where they are in the northwest corner, right?
Right. For in Farmington, we go all over San Juan County.
Mm-hmm.
So we cover San Juan County, and we go to homes. And also, if families aren't comfortable with us going into their homes, then we can meet anywhere.
I see.
That they want to. We've met in the back of the car at a chapter house once. That was
right.
an interesting
right.
one. So,
okay.
And one of our home visitors meets at a grocery store with the parents, because that's where the dad works.
Okay.
And during his lunch break.
But you can do that.
Yep,
okay.
at a park.
Right.
And we met at the E3 Children's Museum the other day.
Nice.
We like to integrate people into the community.
Sure.
As well.
But that's important, right? To make sure that mom and dad are a part of this, and that the information is getting to everybody in the family, and,
mm-hmm.
and for these families that have their firstborn child, there's a lot to learn, I think, about how to keep the child healthy and what to be doing during all this really important developmental years.
There is, definitely. And we might get questions such as, oh my goodness, my baby has a rash.
Right.
What do you think? We always refer to physicians. We're home visitors. We're not counselors. We have no medical degrees, and we always refer to medical professionals. So it may be from, this is an odd rash, what's going on, up until, it could be we need a home. We could help people with that as well, with hooking them up to the resources.
Right,
out
right.
there.
So they're needing a place to live, you mean, and that could be something you can help with, or at least refer them to the right resources in town.
Yes, definitely.
And that's important. So it really is a all-encompassing visit that you're talking about, right? When you help these families.
It is. I think that the home visiting relationship is so special. You go to somebody's home or at a park,
right,
wherever,
yeah.
And you're in their lives, and it's so special. And I still see families that I worked with years and years ago, and I saw somebody yesterday,
mm-hmm.
and they said, "Oh, look, there's Miss Diana. Remember, she used to bring you books." And the child is 4 years old now.
Wow.
So I haven't
right.
seen her since she was 2. So.
But that's a great feeling, I have to imagine, right? For you to be able to know what a lasting impact that you and this program is making on these local families?
It is, definitely. And I did mention the books, and
yeah.
we are very, very strong in our belief at how literacy affects families.
Mm-hmm. And the books are age appropriate. I would think, right? And so, and they're available for, again, free to the families, right?
Right, and we do receive several grants. We receive a grant from Intech and from Three Rivers Foundation and from the Brindle Foundation.
Which is great.
It is.
And you encourage the families then to read with their children and to sit and read the stories and read.
We do, yes, from pregnancy.
Right.
And we try to encourage it for daily.
And that's important. And again, all these things, you have a lot of research, I think, from your curriculum that shows that these things are proven effective strategies, lessons, and things like that that really do help the child in the long run.
Correct. And we do, with our curriculum, we are research-based curriculum. So everything is researched, everything is approved for us to use. We don't go out and Google something and say, oh yeah, this is how you should do it.
Sure. And I know well, I would think for a lot of new families, when there is a health issue like a rash or something that mom or dad hasn't seen before, that they're very concerned because it's the first child. Maybe if you've been around, had a few kids already, it's not such a big deal. But for that first child, it really does set off an alarm bell of something that could be wrong. And you want it checked out. You want to get help.
It does. We also, once I was at a dinner, actually it was my birthday dinner, and a mama called me, and were having trouble with the formula, and so I was able to help them somewhat with that. But we get calls, we don't encourage it, but we've gotten calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we do try to encourage people to call at more appropriate hours, but we are there for our families. We do care.
And that's important.
Yeah.
Especially if you're, don't have anyone else to turn to. And, again, there are probably people listening and watching us today that know of a young family maybe that's pregnant or going to have a child or just had a child. And this is exactly what we're talking about. This service is available to them.
Exactly.
And to get, if they don't have maybe a grandma or great grandma in the family maybe to ask about or things like that, or an aunt or whomever, even if they do, this is another resource for them. And
I think that's really interesting, Scott. What you're saying there is that even if there is a grandma and a great-grandma, things have changed so much. Even, when I had my children, we put them to sleep on their stomachs. They were on their tummies. And now it is shown that there are links to sudden infant death syndrome. Because babies are on their tummies and they're not that strong, and they may smother in their blankets. We have a program where we have baby bassinets, and we give those. You can put them on the bed beside you. And so all of the advice that we get from our parents and grandparents aren't always the latest in information that we have. Sure. And so again, this just is another resource for young families to be able to use, maybe in addition to that info from grandma and grandma and great grandma or what have you, right? We're not saying don't listen to them. We're just saying there are new things that we can try. Sure. And it is funny to see how quickly or how fast things are advancing, and there's new information and new techniques and new ways to avoid certain things that maybe when we were growing up, it's just an accepted part of being a kid. Definitely, yes. And that leads me to an event you have coming up later on this month, since we're in September now, which is on child seats and child safety seats, because that's a big thing now, whereas maybe when we were growing up, we just put the kid in the back of the station wagon and took off, I think my place in the car, seriously, if I can remember, was the back window. On that ledge. They had a ledge. That big ledge, right. That was a great spot until you had to stop fast, and then you were on the floor. But yeah, but you were kind of braced by your sisters' heads. That helped. That's true. That's very true. But these days, that'll get you a ticket. That's right. And not only a ticket, it's dangerous. It is very dangerous. And so Firstborn is involved in this child safety seat check event coming up later on this month, isn't it? Yes, and there are many other places. There are certified technicians. We have certified technicians at our agency and San Juan Regional Medical Center. We've had the police force and state police, local police, sheriff's departments. So a wide range of people take part in it. And this is through Safer New Mexico Now. And so one time we were, of course, our rankings aren't good in many things, but we were... For our state, huh? Yes. Okay. We were at the highest fertility fatality rate in the nation. So now we rank 13th in safety and for how people use their car seats.
Okay, so we're getting better, but we're still not the best.
True.
And there's still work to be done. So you have an event coming up, what, on the 29th of September?
It is the September 29th, and that will be in the parking lot of Hobby Lobby from 10 to noon. And it's the National Seat Check Saturday. And what you can expect when you come in to one of the events is that the car seats will be checked, and they may have an expiration date. If they do, if something is wrong with the seat, then we have car seats there.
Right.
And we do ask for a $20 donation for that, and they're great car seats.
I was surprised when you told me that car seats have an expiration date, but then when I thought about it, it made sense that they would have an expiration date, because you don't want to have an ancient car seat in the car in case of an accident, because they really need to do their job at that time.
Right, and even with an accident, it was interesting. Our office is downtown in Farmington, and we heard a crash, and we looked out, and it was a large SUV and another vehicle, and there was a baby in the car. Everybody was fine, but what we did is we took them our information, and they were able to come and get a different car seat, because once a car seat is in any type of an accident, then they're not safe.
It needs to be
anymore.
replaced. Right
away.
And that's what this check is all about, right? Is to make sure that the seats and as the seats get swapped in and out of different vehicles. That's another thing, to make sure that they're installed correctly, because each car, it seems like, has a different system of connections and straps and buckles and what have you and all that, right? To make sure that they're in and doing the job.
Definitely, and even just the way that the straps are on the child and where it lies, it needs to be certain parts of their body so that if there is an impact, it's not doing more damage.
Right. Very important. So again, that's on the 29th, September 29th, just a few weeks away, because we're in September already, and over near Hobby Lobby in the parking lot is where it'll be set up, right? And the hours again are
10 to noon.
10 to noon on the 29th. Great. Diana Kinney is my guest this morning. She is a program manager with Northwest New Mexico Firstborn, and we're going to take a short break. When we come back, there's more to talk about, right?
More, definitely,
a lot more, right?
Always more.
Okay, we'll take a short break. Come back with my guest with more in just a moment here on KSJE. The time right now is coming up on 8:31.
Some new guidelines that could help tech companies be better for society. From American Public Media, this is